The air is cold, sharp as a blade, and every breath you take fills your lungs with the taste of winter. It bites at your skin beneath an iron sky, a sky so heavy and grey it feels as if it could press the world flat. We stand at the edge of the Viking world, where a dark fjord cuts deep into the land, reflecting silent mountains that have watched centuries pass. The wind sighs through the pines. This is a hard, beautiful land that demands strength, resilience, and a spirit as unyielding as the stone beneath your feet. Suddenly a chant rises from a longship on the shore, echoing across the water and through the valley. The voices are deep, powerful, a song of purpose, not joy or sorrow, but of survival and unity in the face of the unknown. This is the sound of the Vikings, a tool as vital as an axe or sail, forged not from iron or wood, but from the strength of their voices. The song gives rhythm to their work, pushing away fear and cold, binding the crew together as they row into the unknown, each stroke a testament to their will. Each man is strong, but together they are more, a family bound by blood and oath, by shared hardship and hope. The chant is their heartbeat, a declaration: we are here, we are strong, we will endure, no matter what storms may come. This music is not for entertainment, it is survival. It is the thread that weaves them together, a shield against despair. The song focuses their minds, shields them from darkness, and promises unity, reminding each man that he is never alone. As their voices fill the air, you feel the power of their community, a force that can weather any hardship. This is the Viking survival song, an echo in the fjord that endures long after the voices have faded. To truly understand the Vikings, you must first understand their home, Scandinavia, a land of breathtaking extremes and relentless challenges. Here nature is both beautiful and unforgiving, shaping every aspect of life. Long, dark winters stretch for months, while short, endless summers bring a burst of life and light. These dramatic seasons shape not only the landscape, but also the spirit and endurance of the people who live here. Jagged mountains rise sharply from the earth, ancient forests whisper with secrets, and thin, rocky soil makes farming a constant struggle. Survival here is never guaranteed. It must be earned, every single day. The land demands strength, cleverness, and resilience. Only those who adapt and persevere can thrive in such a harsh environment. The sea is both a barrier and a highway, its wild waves forcing the Vikings to become fearless sailors and skilled navigators. Mastering the ocean was not a choice, but a necessity for survival and connection. Their legendary longships were born from this need, to travel, to trade, and to raid distant shores. These vessels became symbols of their ingenuity and daring spirit. They learned the rhythms of the seasons, mastering how to hunt, fish, and gather every resource the land and sea could offer. Nothing was wasted. Every skill was vital. Knowledge was passed down through generations in stories and songs, not books. Around the fire, wisdom and history lived in the spoken word. Every rock, tree, and star was a clue for survival, a guide in the wilderness, a marker on a journey, or a sign from the gods. Strength and honor were valued above all. Actions spoke louder than words. Courage and loyalty defined a person's worth. Their gods, Odin, Thor, Freya, reflected the wild, unpredictable world around them, inspiring awe, fear, and reverence in equal measure. In the end, Viking culture was forged by the land itself, shaped by ice, stone, and the indomitable will to survive and thrive against all odds. For Vikings, song was more than just entertainment. It was a weapon against darkness, both inside and out. In a world where the night stretched endlessly and the cold pressed in from every side, music became a vital force for survival. Imagine endless winter nights, the world frozen and silent where the only warmth came from the fire and the voices gathered around it. The landscape outside was harsh and unforgiving, making the glow of the longhouse even more precious. Singing was a necessity, not a luxury. It was how the Vikings pushed back against the silence and the fear that crept in with the darkness. In the longhouse, voices rose together, declaring through every note and every word that we are still here, unbroken and united. Songs told tales of gods and heroes, lessons in courage, perseverance, and the values that held their society together. These stories were passed down from generation to generation, shaping the Viking spirit. Music gave these stories power, connecting listeners to their ancestors and reminding them of the strength found in shared memory and tradition. Rhythm and melody lifted spirits, uniting the community in moments of joy and sorrow alike. The beat of the drum and the harmony of voices created a sense of belonging. A lone warrior on watch might hum a tune to keep fear at bay, using music as a companion in the silent, icy dark. Singing focused the mind, calmed the heart, and became a shield against solitude. Even when alone, a song could remind a Viking of home and kin. Song was a tool for resilience, managing stress and maintaining morale during hardship and uncertainty. It helped them endure the toughest times. It was a shared language for hope, grief, and determination, a way to express what words alone could not. In a hostile world, song was their anchor, grounding them in their identity and giving them the strength to face whatever lay ahead. The Vikings' wisdom lived in memory, not books. The poetic Edda, especially the Havamal, was their manual for life. Odin's advice guided them. Be brave, be wise, choose friends carefully. A foolish man thinks he'll live forever if he avoids fighting, but old age brings no peace. The Havamal was practical, how to be a good guest, how to act with honor. Its verses were rhythmic and memorable, easy to carry in the mind. In tough moments, a Viking could recall Odin's words for guidance. This wisdom was portable, surviving sea voyages and harsh winters. Reciting these verses reinforced values and unity. The Edda was not just art, it was survival technology. Vikings mastered the open ocean, the whale's road, without compasses or maps. Their navigation relied on deep knowledge of nature, passed down in chants and stories. They read birds, water, clouds, sun, and stars, a science learned by heart. Skippers memorized sailing directions as poems, creating mental maps. Chants described journeys, landmark by landmark, keeping ships on course. Tools like the sunstone helped, but observation was key. Seabirds signaled land. The sun's height revealed latitude. A mistake could mean death. Navigation was survival. Shared chants reassured the crew and reinforced trust. Reciting routes together held the map in their collective memory. This was how they reached Iceland, Greenland, even North America. On a longship, every man had a role. Teamwork was survival. Communal singing or chanties set the rowing pace and united the crew. Songs told of voyages and heroes, forging shared identity and purpose. Singing about ancestors' courage inspired their own. The song was a way to borrow strength from the past. Long voyages were hard. Singing broke monotony and lifted spirits. It turned individuals into a tight-knit crew, keeping despair at bay. On land, work songs made hard labor flow and burdens lighter. In a world without machines, song managed and sustained human energy. Shared voices focused minds and fortified spirits. Song was the technology of survival. Surviving Scandinavian winters was a battle against the cold. Vikings relied on wool and leather, warm, practical, and resourceful. Wool stayed warm even when wet, woven into dense cloth called wadmal. Clothing was layered linen or fine wool tunics, thick kirtles, heavy cloaks lined with fur. Trousers, socks, and leg wrappings added insulation. Long houses were built for warmth, thick walls, sod roofs, central fire pits. People and animals shared space, pooling body heat. Firecraft was essential, knowing which woods burned best, starting fires in damp. Every resource was precious: wood, bones, animal fat for lamps. Survival meant constant calculation and careful use of resources. Generations honed these skills in a demanding land. The Viking was more than a lone warrior. Strength came from community. Their culture, traditions, and songs were practical strategies for survival. Poems like the Havamal were the glue of society, providing moral code and shared history. Singing of Odin or Thor reinforced identity and values. Courage, honor, resilience. Songs carried their culture wherever they went. Skills, navigation, weaving, building, were taught through stories and practice. Lessons were learned side by side, made memorable by song. This was a holistic education for survival. The echo of a Viking chant is the sound of will, teamwork, and courage. Song was their shield, map, and bond, the heartbeat of the Viking world.